What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Thai Lyfe Podcast, back again with another episode. Let's get to know our Nailtech. Today, we have a very special guest. Let me tell you about this guest. I met her last year, actually this year in Orlando premiere, right? And from there, I start following her content. But what I noticed about her is that her personality, she is so outgoing. And I can tell by just looking at her personality, she has the passion to be the nail tech. And on top of that, she has grown so much as a content creator, bringing out different side of character in her. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to have my friend Sterling on this podcast. How are you today?
I am so good. God is doing his biggest one in my life, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Well, God is always good. You know that. But
hmm
before we go deep into how you get yourself on this podcast and where you at today, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you started as a nail tech, and what job did you do before being a nail tech? Like, what was your vision and what is your vision now?
Okay. So originally, my vision was to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist to be specific. I wanted to be a child psychiatrist. And when I was in college, I quickly realized that that was just not for me. I felt like I was going to bring that work home with me. So I needed to pivot, but I didn't have any direction yet. So I started becoming a bartender and I was bartending and serving at so many restaurants, like everywhere. And I did that for a while and then the world shut down. So during COVID, I had no idea what I was going to do. Right before that happened, I was working retail. Literally any job like you can think of, I've had it, man. Like I've done everything from life insurance agent to server to bartender, recruiter, everything. So I'm working retail and the world gets shut down. So the mall is obviously closed and I'm furloughed. I was still making money technically, but it wasn't really doing anything and we couldn't go anywhere. So I always kept my nails done. I was someone who always needed their nails done, always stayed on top of it. I'm there every 2 weeks in the salon. And now the nail salons are closed. So I'm seriously panicking. Like the world shut down was scary, but me not being able to have my nails done was scarier, honestly. So I needed to learn how to do nails. And I remembered when I was in eighth grade, I used to play with my friends all the time. We'd hang out in my room and, the Kiss acrylic set that they sell like Walgreens, CVS, like that was my jam. And I was doing that on my girls all the time. It wasn't the best work, but I was doing it. And I remembered that. So during COVID, I picked it back up. But this time I was trying dip and I wasn't a fan of it because there was just no structure. I couldn't do any length on my nails. I couldn't do anything. So I went to YouTube University, like almost every self-taught nail tech does. You know how it goes. And I learned from so many people on the internet. I was using Instagram and YouTube to my biggest advantage. You are one of the people that I watch, which is insane. Like it's crazy to be in this with you right now when you're literally someone who I learned how to do nails from virtually. Absolutely insane. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. But I'm in the beginning of COVID, I was just doing my own nails. I wasn't trying to work on anyone else. I was so afraid of not doing the right thing. Like, you can only learn but so much on YouTube, but when it comes to the terminology and really knowing how to sanitize and disinfect, I knew that I wasn't there yet. So whenever people would ask me like, where do you get your nails done? And I say I do them, they'd be like, can I get my nails done by you? And I'd be like, no. So it took me a minute, honestly. I would just keep doing my nails on my own because I felt like I was saving money. No other reason except I just wanted to save some money and I realized like I'm actually good at this. So I just kept doing them on my own and I got back into bartending once COVID was over and everything's opening back up. And I would literally every time I'd pass people their drinks, I'd go like this and the drink was right here and I'd be like, here you go, just to get a compliment on my nails. Like just so I could be like, I did them. And I did that for a while. And one of my bar guests, she was like, I love your nails. And I was like, thank you, I do them. And then later on, she complimented me on my hair. And I was like, thanks, I did it. And she's like, do you work in a salon or anything? And I'm like, no, I just bartend. She's like, why? Like, and I was like, you know what? You're actually asking me a good question. And she ended up putting me onto a state funded school because I did want to go to cosmetology school, but we all know how expensive it is. It's a lot of money. So that I was a little nervous about. And she pointed me into a direction where I got into cosmetology school and I didn't have to worry about paying too much money, which was amazing and a blessing. And shortly after that, like cosmetology school was just a nightmare. I can't even lie to you. But I think that was more because I realized that I fell in love with nails. I wanted to do everything at first. I wanted to be a makeup artist and a hairstylist. I wanted to do everything under the umbrella of cosmetology. And then I quickly realized while I was learning, like, I don't love this like I love nails. Like, it didn't do anything for me. And so I it was hard for me to keep going because it's 80% hair. But I kept pushing myself. Shout out to my teacher, Miss Marcia, because she really, really helped me stay focused and not lose the plot when it came to like, you're here for your license. All the other stuff, just, deal with it when you can. And I'm so grateful because I was so close to not finishing. Thank God I did. I was when I found Zane's shop because I was following her on Instagram for just about the same amount of time as you. I was learning from you, Nail Dad, and I'm just like, she's so good. But when you see things on Instagram, you see it and you're like, oh, that's states away. So in my head, I was convinced that Zaina was in California. I didn't realize until I graduated. The timing is insane of this, honestly. I realized that she was in Bayonne right when I graduated, and it was directly when she was hiring too. So I got right in the door. I had an interview with a different nail shop right before I started working at Zane's salon. Literally the day that I got called to get an interview at Zane's shop, I was just celebrating that I got a job at another one because I didn't know that I was going to start working here. So all I wanted to do was nails. I didn't care where I was. I just wanted to do nails. And so much so that the first salon that I was going to work at, they don't even do acrylic there. It's only gel manicures. I was just happy to be holding somebody's hand and painting. Like they don't do any designs, like nothing like the things that I actually love to do. But I was just so happy because I love to do nails. And I was just excited. I called my teacher. I'm like, Miss Marcia, I got the job. We're excited. I'm like happy crying. And then literally as I'm celebrating that, I get an incoming call. And I'm like, I never answer unsaved numbers, but for some reason I did. Thank God I did because now I'm here.
Wow. You know, God works his magic at his own time.
Yes,
You,
his timing is impeccable.
you just have to ride along with it. And
Yes.
that little glimpse of your story just right now just put a little goosebump in my body because it's like you actually experienced so many jobs in your
Yeah.
career path to the point where you appreciate the nail industry. Because
Hmm.
there's not a
I
lot
love
of
it.
people see that. There's a lot of people who just jump into the nail industry and they just ban out, like they just done, like they can't do it anymore. That's
Right.
because they haven't worked in any other industry,
Yes.
and they see like, oh, and now that you're in the industry, and God, that was your calling. The lady that you met at the bar telling you to go to cosmetology,
Right there.
that was your calling, girl. Like this career
Yes.
path decided to pick you. You didn't pick this career path.
No, it really didn't. I get chills every time I talk about her. She was just a random bar guest. I've never seen her again after that.
Oh my God. So now that you work for Zaina, so you start your career just working for Zaina.
Hmm.
You know, I talked to Zaina recently, and hearing
Yes.
her story and things how it land on her lap because she worked so hard, put so much effort into it. How does it feel from your perspective, like to be able to work with somebody who's so ambitious, who's so
It
like embracing the industry and taking you under her wings and just fly with her? Tell me about
It
that.
is absolutely amazing. Like, I could really go on all day gabbing about her because I have never met anybody who is so authentic, like, truly, truly authentic. You know, a lot of when we can talk about shops for a second, a lot of shops when you're working there, you have to sign a non-compete form. So when you are done working there, you can't work in usually at the very least 50 miles radius. They're not trying to help you open up your business. They're literally, you're there to help make them money. But she has not only taken on a role of being like a leader for us and being our boss, but she is so helpful, when it comes to from the smallest problem to the biggest that you need. She literally is a problem solver, and she's going to help you get to it. And I've never met anyone who was just so giving without literally not wanting anything in return. Like just doing this because literally she's been in our position before. So she knows exactly what it's like. And so she doesn't want to see us struggle. She just wants to help us. And it's so hard to find that, especially like in salon culture, period. There's not many people where it's like a lot of it is very catty or really competitive. And although we are technically in competition with each other, it never felt that way.
Wow.
And that I think is just so amazing.
That is awesome because you know a lot of nail techs when they start out and they don't have the right boss, they don't have the right management, it ruins their
Right.
career and it leaves you a
It
bad
seriously
taste in your
does.
mouth. And I when I was the owner, I try not to do stuff like that. So when you started
Right.
out, you got your license, but at this moment, you actually experienced how to do nails already. So you just needed
Hmm.
that schooling and just trying to tie everything up together. So how did you
Yes.
start building your clientele working next to Zaina? Like, how was that process all about for yourself?
So, the most important thing that I was told when I was in cosmetology school was to find someone that can be your mentor, which is I'm so glad that I found that. So watching Zane, like being next to her in the beginning when I first started, oh my goodness, man, I can't tell you how like literally in the terms of like speed, I felt so slow because I'm doing one client and I'm top coding and she's on like number 4 already. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta get up my speed. So I would like anytime that I had a free moment, I was watching her do nails, like literally, and she'll make sure she's like, "Can you see?" Like she'll move a little bit. Can you see? Like she's always making sure. And she helped us promote ourselves so much, like helping me a lot when like I was really good at making content before, but I was just a content creator on the terms of just being a personality, but not necessarily when it came to nails. So she really helped me, like showed me the ropes of how to really like unlock the social media game. Like the only thing I did to grow my page was listen to her directions and follow through. I stayed consistent, I stayed on top of myself. And anytime that I felt like, I don't know, we all as humans, we experience self doubt, but I had to keep reminding myself, like, I wanted to be in this space so bad and I'm here. And that helped me fight my imposter syndrome so much because I feel like getting in your head is the biggest problem when you're in this industry and in life. But I was really, really grateful to have someone like her just to be able to help me get myself onto the road. And we would, in the beginning, I started off with these $50 freestyles. She helped me come up with, like, she's like, we got to get clients into the door somehow. And me and my coworker, Ree, we started doing $50 freestyles, and our books got filled in no time, literally no time. And we were working hard on the $50 freestyle, working real, real hard. But almost every client that I had in that time, they ended up becoming my regulars. Like there were so many people who didn't like it was just a perfect time to get our names out there, and it really helped build our clientele. I think about those $50 freestyles all the time.
You just got to plant the seed. That's what it's all about.
Hmm.
And that's what
Yes.
you did. You plant the seed. And sometimes it's not just about the money. I think we overthink about the value more than what
Yeah.
the initial intention is. Because my initial intention when I'm serving a client, I want them to come back. I don't care about the money at the
Yes.
moment because when they come back,
Yes.
that is like that's income coming back. So
Exactly.
how do you get that thought process to realize like this is how I should lower myself just to get the clients and to build my empire?
I realized really quickly, like my first 2 weeks that I was here, it was kind of slow for me. And when I did, whenever I had a client, like you said, like, that's an opportunity for me to have a regular. Like, I treat a lot of my clients like my friends because like, people want to feel comfortable in their chair. And I will never, ever forget how I felt as a client. So I never want my clients to feel the way that I did as a client. I feel like when I was whenever I asked for anything, it was almost like, I'm sorry that I asked, and I am very, very conscious of the fact that we are operating by free will. I'm doing this because I want to. I think a lot of people don't do exactly what they want to do. And so now you end up unhappy.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but I think me loving my job, my clients see that. They know that I love nails. It's so crazy the amount of times I say I love nails while doing my clients' nails. I'm like, I love this. Like they're like, I know, and that makes me so happy. Like I really appreciate my clients because I know that they're also supporting me because they know that I'm doing something that I love, and it makes them happy to see me literally just enjoying doing their nails. Like you're happy to be here, but I'm happy for you to be here too.
That is so awesome. You know, you mentioned one thing in your story that it brings me back when I was a salon owner, that when you're starting out, it is so hard just to sit there and watch somebody work and you have no clients, you
Yes.
got bills to pay,
Mhm.
and you're seeing everybody's taking in client and you're just slow. It's like,
Sitting there.
how do you give advice to the one that are coming in and they have to go through that first phase of just boringness, not making money, but they have to willing to be patient and learn?
I really think that patience and faith are the most important thing when it comes to an industry like this, because there are so many outside factors. Like you said, watching people take clients while you're just sitting there bored with nothing to do. And now, because you're bored with nothing to do, your brain is working and it's working in overdrive. And when I was experiencing that, now I've got feelings of doubt coming in, and you're not good enough. Like, there's a reason why people don't want to book with you right now. Like, those are the things that are going on in my head. And I think just trying to literally remain focused, like having a vision board helped me a lot. I changed my lock screen to everything that I care about and love, helped me a whole lot to focus on something else. Like, because just those just those little blips in time, you have to rewire your brain. And that is definitely a major challenge, but staying, like, just reminding yourself to stay the course. Like, I always think about, like, perfect example is literally my cosmetology school journey. There were at the very least 5 times that I was serious about not going back. And I'm thinking about where I am right now. And if I didn't go back, I wouldn't have been able to reach any of this. And I'm on a
Wow.
podcast with you. I learned how to do nails from you on the internet before you even knew I existed.
You know, it's an
It's because I stayed the course.
I didn't know you were watching me that long ago. So I'm so glad that I didn't put out no BS, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
so let's talk about this character that you're starting to develop for yourself as a content creator. Because,
Yes.
I see the mustache, I see the different color hair. I mean, I love what you're doing because it brings me back to how I was or how I'm still doing it. It's like you're starting to seek different character in your content creating to bring out, is this working? Is this going to work? That's marketing.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I think marketing is so important. I will never, ever be satisfied with where I'm at. Like, I always want to continue to grow. There's always going to be room to grow. So, my brain is literally nonstop working on how can I shake up the internet this time? Like, what can I do to, like, what can I do to switch it up? Or is this something that people like so I can continue to do it? Like, I'm always testing out new things because the amount of people that told me, like, yeah, I came here because I saw you dressed like Steve Harvey. Like, but little things like that. And I love being able to showcase my personality because yes, I do love nails, but there's also so much more to me. And I feel like it creates a relationship with other people on the internet before they even get into your chair. So I always want people to feel comfortable. I never want anyone to be like, I'm sorry just for existing. We apologize as human beings for things that literally never even mattered. And so I want people to have that level of comfortability with me before they even get in my chair. Because now it's like, you're not afraid. I feel like fear has stopped a lot of people from doing a lot of things. There's so many times that my clients are like, I was nervous to ask you this. Why? Why are you scared? I don't bite.
Ain't that the truth? And that's cool though, because sometimes clients look at us like we're the professional. We know everything. And sometimes they get intimidated. And that's why I always try to tell
Yes.
Nailtech, like, talk to them, be their friend, because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
they're only human. They're there they need you. That's why they're there.
exactly. And I think it's also like I'm a huge advocate for educating your client because there's so many things, like when they're going from salon to salon, sometimes they don't know what's right and what's wrong. And so I love also having my clients comfortable enough to ask me certain questions like, I used to do this at my other salon. Is that okay? Is that even a thing? And I am so happy to be a myth buster. I love being a myth buster.
Sterling, let me ask you this. So the question I had is like, what was the last time when you first had your first most expensive set that you done? What was that feeling like? Because I know growing into the nail industry, we have a good heart. We see how other people price, other salon pricing is. And in that moment where the client starts asking for a lot of stuff and you say, you know what, this is actually worth a couple $100. What was that first experience like for you?
I it was nerve-wracking. It was absolutely nerve-wracking. I was so anxious to tell my client her total. Like, I was so scared. I was like, "So this is gonna be $250. Your balance is $250." Like, I said it with the shakiest voice. She was like, "Can you say that one more time?" And I was like, "Your balance is 250." Like, I was so scared. And she was like, "Oh, okay." Like, her reaction to it, I was just like, why were you afraid? Why were you afraid? And I went home and I had the longest talk with myself because, on top of her having no issue with me charging my worth, she also tipped me more than enough. And I went home and I had a conversation and I looked in the mirror and I was like, you know how much work you do. You know exactly what you're doing. You know how long it's going to take you to do. I was like, is time free? Are you getting those 4 hours back that you spent on that set? No. So why were you scared to tell her how much it was? And that stopped me a whole lot. Like, just literally sitting there and I'm like, girl, like, you have to charge your worth. This is time is expensive. And I've been shown many way too many times that we don't have this time forever. So I was like, never again. I'm not questioning myself anymore. I still have moments of doubt, but then I snap right back out of it.
So how do you go about it now? Like after you experience that, like how do you get that confidence? Like this, what is your routine like of delivering the price to the service?
Okay. So I've gotten myself into the mindset of like, this person came to you to do this job. Literally, they could have chose anyone else. They could have chosen anyone else. They know exactly whose chair they're sitting in when they book with you. I have to tell myself that all the time, like, she knows who you are. She knows exactly why she booked you for a reason. And I just keep telling myself that, like, whenever I start to feel those doubts, I'm like, this person is in your chair for a reason, the same way that I'm in this chair for a reason. And I just like have to, like, I'm like, just get out of your head. Get out of your head.
That is so hard to do though, like, because I still have that problem to today. Because sometimes, especially like, would you ever sit down with a client and you get to know them, and then you feel like kind
Yes.
of bad, like, oh man, this
When they're
person's
my friend clients, like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's a tough one.
it's so hard. But I think, like, what helped me, honestly, one time, like a couple of months ago, I tried to get one of my regulars, like, I was like, oh, the nail art is on me this time. And she almost cussed me out.
Really?
She said, girl, how much time did you spend on this? And I'm literally sitting here as I'm talking to her. I'm like, oh my God, these are the conversations that you have with yourself. Why are you letting her, like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? Like, and that helped me a lot too. Cause like, I'm getting into the mindset of, we all know how much money we have. So when I go into, like, when we go shopping at certain stores, they're not asking you like, are you okay with buying this jacket? It's $99. They don't ask us that because we know how much money it is. There's a price tag. The same way, so I was like, this is a business. The same way, just because I think it's hard for us because it's personal and it's us, we're the person to answer to back versus like, well, that's the price tag. I don't know what to tell you. I don't work at H&M. It's completely different. So I started just, you're working in a business. This is a business. You are providing a service. So it costs money. And it's so hard to have that conversation because it's you at the end of the day. But you just gotta, I just be trying to push past it. I just gotta push past that thought.
You mentioned something earlier that was interesting. I did not know that. when you go work at other salons, they make you sign a consent form that you cannot take
Yes.
like you cannot work around like a perimeter.
Yes. Certain salons definitely do non-compete forms, and you like you just can't work in that area. You're gonna, and that's a hard thing to do because when you think about it, anytime you move as an entrepreneur, you're already gonna lose a percentage of your clientele just because you switch location.
Correct.
But now we're talking 50 miles.
Right.
Do your people love you enough to drive over 50 miles?
That's crazy.
It makes it very unfair.
Is
It's
this
very
like is
crazy.
this like Asian salon too, or just random any salon that happens?
Any salon
Really?
that happens at hair salons too. Yeah.
Wow. Because man,
Hmm.
I grew up. You leave, you can just work down the street and nobody.
Anywhere.
I mean, we will talk shit, but you can't stop them. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's all you can do.
We're gonna talk about you, but you can go down the street.
What have you learned since you started
What
this whole process of content creating, being part of Zaina's team, and going to this convention? What have you learned, and what new thought has processed through you?
I have learned so much. I think the two things that always stick out to me when I think about like what, because I take everything as a learning process. And when I look back on the amount of time I've spent since I've been out of cosmetology school till this very day, is patience for number one. Like my patience has grown so much. I really have learned how to just calm down and relax a little bit. And I've also learned to keep faith because that's something that's very, very hard to do when you don't know what your outcome is going to be, but you know where you want to go. It's so hard to stay the course. You just know where you want to be at, but you don't know what's going to happen in the meantime. That was something that I definitely struggled with the most, is just staying focused, honestly, staying focused and not losing the plot. It's really, really hard to do in this industry because we have so many people to compare ourselves from. And comparison, I think, is the number one killer for confidence.
Wow. I love talking to you. I mean,
Thanks.
you have so much knowledge, and the fact that you're sharing your experience is, we're so grateful to hear it. What advice can you give somebody who is like wondering, like getting out of high school, if they want to be a nail tech, and there's people who want to change career. Like, what advice can you give them just to feel a little bit more confident in terms of like this is the right career path?
I would definitely, definitely tell people who are thinking about it to take that leap of faith because nothing is worse than the unknown. So you can always think about like, just try it because nothing is worse than having the regret of never even dipping your toes into it. You might dip your toes in and then want to dive in. You never know, but it doesn't, you're never going to find out until you try it. Because I definitely thought that I wanted to be beauty. I wanted to be all types of beauty, hair, nails, makeup, everything. And once I dipped my toes into everything else, I said, I'm diving straight into nails. That's what I found my passion in. Although I love everything else, it's just not the same type of love. And I don't know. Like I said before, I've been here so like God has shown me way too many times like I need to do what my calling is because I've almost seen him. I'm like, you know what? Let me make sure that like do everything. Like I express my free will in every way that I possibly can because there's just so much of life that we won't know unless we see. And so now I'm gonna find out every time. If this is something that I'm thinking about, I'm always going to go through with it just because life is so short, man. I'm about to be 13 years cancer free. Life is real, real short. And I'm gonna enjoy all my time. I feel like after that, I just have taken my life as an opportunity to just live a second time. And free will is literally my middle name now.
I love that. And congratulations about your cancer free.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, life is not always about rainbows and flowers, but
It's not,
what give us the rainbows and flowers is the hard time. So,
I swear.
what is your hardest time, and how do you overcome it?
I think my hardest time was when I was battling cancer. And the way that I overcame that, honestly, was by keeping a positive attitude. And that was the hardest time for me to keep a positive attitude because at that time I was 15 years old. And I was on the pediatric level at my hospital. And so, although I'm 15, I'm I'm verging onto the adult side of life, and everyone around me are just they're so small, and I'm seeing everybody going through the same thing as me. Like we're all like I'm just in a place full of sick children, and all I can think to myself is like, as grim as it is, like, not everybody is going to be able to make it out. So I just kept positive. I kept my mindset positive because I saw my family around me so sad all the time. Every time my family looked at me, they were ready to cry. And I'm like, you guys can't do this. Like, you can't. So I was always cracking jokes, always smiling. Like, I tried to not show how I was feeling on the outside because I could see how everybody was feeling on their outside. And I didn't want to bring them down. They're already thinking about what I'm going through enough. So I just literally stayed positive. I only thought about good things in life and what I was going to do. Like, I tried to keep my mindset on what I was going to do once I left the hospital. And I just started trying to, after that, anything that I wanted to do, like, I'm going to do it because I don't know who didn't get to live past when I saw them at the hospital. So now I'm living my life not just for me.
Wow. I can see where you get that positivity from. That is so powerful how you embrace and you just make a difference in people's
Thank
life.
you.
And I'm God, your story just give me the chills, because I just see you're so grateful, and I just wish nothing but the best for you, Sterling. Like
Thank you.
I
I really
want you
appreciate
to
that.
grow as far and as high as you can, because it's hard to find a personality like you. You
Thank
you do
you.
have what it takes, and I see it in you. And from the first day when we met, I was like, she's special, and that's why
I
you.
was so happy the day I met you. I was like, I cannot believe I'm meeting Thai Life. There's no way I'm meeting them right
And
now.
we make
I was
content
freaking out.
together.
And there's no celebrities, like celebrities I do not fangirl about. I do not care. But when I saw you and Nailed That, I was like, wow, because you guys really helped mold my career. Like I knew what I was doing when I got into cosmetology school only because of you guys, learning how to like learning from y'all, watching y'all do your thing.
Well, because we like old school, and we seen the pros and the cons. And why do you love nails so much now?
When I was growing up, I wanted to be an artist. That was like, every kid had a dream. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be the president, whatever. My dream when I was a kid was to be an artist. And I was always also taught to be realistic. So being an artist didn't stay in my brain for too long as I got older because I didn't think that there was any money in making art, like not in the sense of like, you really got to dedicate time. Like, you can't work. You got to be working on your pieces and then go out and sell them and see if you can find somebody that even wants them. That was the only thought I had on being an artist. I never thought that I would go down this path. Like, and I found a Christmas ornament that my mom like gave us a couple like years and years ago. I was in first grade when I filled it out, and it's a little backpack and it has your school photo and it says your name, what grade you're in, what's your favorite thing to do, and what you wanted to be when you grew up. And I said my favorite thing to do was be by my mom, which it still is. And what I wanted to be when I grew up was an artist. And now I am. Thank you, God. Like, thank you, God.
Isn't it amazing, like things that you want to do, and then you have this vision, but then you get pushed towards another way, and you
Yes.
still end up doing what you like to do?
Literally, I never in a million years thought that I was still going to end up being an artist and be able to make a living off of it.
That's so crazy, because I also wanted to be like a graphic designer, but
Really.
college was expensive, so I couldn't go to college. But then I end up doing now. I'm like, well, this is art anyway, so there it is,
Right.
right?
And you're still somehow ended up in art.
Right, and I'm making content,
I
and that's
love
still
how
art.
creatives end up finding themselves right back in their field.
Isn't it amazing?
It really is.
One thing that you dislike about the nail industry that you wish they can change it.
You know what? What I would like to change about the nail industry is the respect that we don't get and deserve as nail artists and as nail technicians. I think that, there's just, I feel like on the internet, I find it easier to find nail techs being questioned about their prices rather than anyone else in the beauty industry. And we work just as hard on our clients as anyone else in the field. And I mean, no shade, and this is all realness, but my nails will last longer than the lashes, the makeup, and that hairstyle. Why do we not get the respect that we deserve?
I say the same damn thing.
Like, our nails last longer than all four of those things, all them categories. And y'all still trying to ask us why we charge what we charge? Come on. Your nails are still on. When'd you get that quick weave? Like,
Right.
don't be silly.
Not to diss any other beauty industry, but we
No,
do
no
put in the
dissing.
work. We do put in the work.
We
And
put the same amount of work in.
we therapists too, by the way.
That part. I'm holding your hand and making art with my back hunched over. We don't deserve any love. We don't
Mhm.
deserve no love for that.
So we need to love y'all. So if y'all love us, give it a like, put it in the comment,
Yes.
and make sure where can they follow you, Sterling? Like where can we get a hold of you?
Slayedbysterl on Instagram and TikTok.
Get it, y'all. Make sure you guys go follow
Yes.
her. Sterling, thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you, man.
I
I
will
appreciate you so much.
I would love to have you back here again.
We can run it
And,
back.
and we run it back. We share more stories.
We could definitely run it back.
We do updates, on our life.
Yes.
But I appreciate you, and I appreciate the work
Thank
that you
you.
put in for the next gen, and really just being who you are as a person is so grateful to have you as a friend.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I pray that your podcast continue to take off and all your products. You got to keep doing your thing because you are stepping on next. Don't take your foot up. Keep that foot down.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love hearing these stuff from. If you guys love this podcast, leave it a like. Make sure to go follow Sterling. She's an awesome nail tech. All of this episode is going to be broadcast on Spotify, YouTube Podcast, and Apple Podcast. It's going to be all over my platform. So make sure you guys go give us some love. Respect the nail tech. Thanks.
Thank you.